And it's the Justin Henry Show. We got a lot to cover today. It is the waiver wire pickup day. And yes, everybody wants to know who to pick up. But then I also want to talk about players who not to panic on, man. There's a lot of players who haven't performed up to expectations, and it's week 2. This is the Justin Henry Show. I'm going to get all your questions in today. You're watching the Justin Henry Show on YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Make sure you follow on all social media platforms. What's going on? The Justin Henry Show is live on TikTok and here on YouTube. Make sure you guys follow, subscribe if you are not already to the Justin Henry Show. I got a lot packed in for today. I want to answer any question that comes in the comments. I know there's a lot of questions about week 3 ads. If you lost last week, don't worry about it, man. It's week 2. There's a lot that can happen in this NFL season. I want to go over some player values too. Make sure you guys like, comment, share, subscribe, whatever y'all can do to help the algorithm reach more people. I'm trying to help y'all win some leagues, man. Feel free to ask away. Kyle Pitts is a big player that everybody's concerned on right now. Kyle Pitts, his value, there's not a lot of people who understand why. His coach is telling us that he doesn't want to be used as a receiver fully like he was last year. He has him blocking a little bit more. So I'm buying low right now on Kyle Pitts. I feel like there's a lot of value right there. Whoever has him in your league is probably panicking to death. So go get Kyle Pitts. There's not a lot of safe tight ends right now anyway outside of Travis Kelce. So if you have somebody, make sure you go get active, get some trades in. If you guys have questions, I will answer your questions during the live here on YouTube and on TikTok. But Kyle Pitts, man, that's the player I want to talk about the most. When I'm looking at tight ends, there's a lot of, shaky options. You're talking about TJ Hawkinson, Dalton Schultz, even Darren Waller, who looked good on Sunday, is still he's not that option he used to be. So if you have Kyle Pitts, don't panic. I would look to pick up another option instead of trading him away. There's a lot of other people who would want to trade him. They'll panic because they aren't watching this show like you. So make sure you go get Kyle Pitts, man. My guy Lance, now I just got Brady. Yeah, Lance got hurt, man. That was a tough one. That was a tough L. What's going on TikTok? I'm going to answer some questions right now from you guys as well. Appreciate the comments on YouTube. Keep them coming in, man. Should I keep Jalen Waddle? Absolutely, you're keeping Jalen Waddle. Incredible day by Jalen Waddle. The only thing I can say is if you can find somebody who views him as a top 10 wide receiver, that might be the time to get rid of Jalen Waddle. So if you have Jalen Waddle and you want to trade up, I'm all for that. Joe Burrow, do I keep? Yes, expect a bounce back day from Joe Burrow. This offense can't be that bad for that long. Had a lot of sacks, 6 sacks against Steelers against the Dallas defense, a lot of sacks against the Steelers defense. They won't be that bad for that long. There's a reason they got Joe Mixon, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and you drafted him early. Hayden Hurst is even getting in the mix too. So if you're somebody who has Kyle Pitts and you just need like a fill-in option at best on your bench just in case, I ain't mad if you go get Hayden Hurst. Burrow apparently loves him. That's in deeper PPR leagues. What should I do with Fournette? You keep him. Keep Fournette. He'll be fine. Would you trade James Robinson, Rashad Bateman for Leonard Fournette? That's a nice trade-up. I think you can get more, though. I think you can get more. Do I keep CD? If you're going to trade CD, get rid of him 90 cents on the dollar. I think he's fine to keep, though. Just don't expect a super high ceiling like you had before. If your questions come in, try to answer them as best I can. But just ask again. I'll get to it. Naji Harris thoughts. Naji Harris is going to be a dog. Like Naji Harris he's hurt right now, but he's somebody, if you want to trade for the low, like if you had him, keep him. You keep Naji Harris. But if somebody else is upset with Naji Harris, I would be actively pursuing him. Maybe another week or 2 dealing with that injury, but I expect Naji Harris to have a role at some point this season. Start 1, Garrett Wilson, Hollywood Brown, or T. Higgins. We're going with T. Higgins. Was offered Eckler for MT and A.J. Dillon. Should I accept Eckler for A.J. Dillon and MT? I think that's a good move, locking in MT and A.J. Dillon. I'm not mad at that for the depth. Both startable options. If I traded D-Hop and Diggs for Eckler and Debo. I traded D-Hop and Diggs for Eckler and Debo. Who won? To be honest, on the surface, I'd rather have the Eckler Debo side, but when D-Hop gets back, it should be good. You're just without him for 4 weeks. So if you needed a running back, it's not a bad deal. Lost Trey Lance. I know I'm hurt. I'm hurt about this Trey Lance stuff, man. I got the Trey Lance jersey. You guys have seen me, man. Hopefully he comes back better than ever, man. Appreciate all the follows, guys. If you don't follow already, I'm on here daily helping you guys out, win your league. So traded Naji, CD for A.J. Brown and Travis Kelce. Did I win? Naji and CD, I think you won that deal getting Travis Kelce. I like it. Would you trade James Robinson, Bateman, and Mike Will for Leonard Fournette and CD Lamb? I ain't mad at locking that up because you lock up Leonard Fournette. Max, appreciate you, my dog. Thank you. I'm not mad at locking in the value of CD Lamb and Fournette. Plus, he gives you room on your bench to upgrade. How are we feeling about DJ Moore? He's mid. We know what DJ Moore is. He's average at best. He's going to have some decent weeks. He's going to have some weeks you're like, why the hell did I start him? DJ Moore is fine. He's a mid upside with no upside wide receiver 2 at best. Should I trade Mark Andrews? Oh, I lost it. Should I trade Mark Andrews, Javonte for Waller, Swift, Kirk, and Hopkins? Yes. Do that deal. That's a lot of love right there. Swift, Hopkins, Waller. Yeah, get all that. And Kirk. 4 starters right there for 2. Who are you trying to get for Carter and Akers? If I can get somebody for Carter and Akers, listen, I'm attacking these Dalvin Cook, Derrick Henry owners. I'm trying to Naji Harris. Go get these guys for the low. Whoever has them right now is shitting their pants. They are panicking. Try to go get these guys. Throw out some trash offers, bro. You'll be surprised what you come up with. I had Lance in my Superflex League. Should I pick up Flacco, Geno, Jimmy G, or Cooper Rush for this week? Out of all the options, if you have just no other options, or trade for Goff, if you had no other options, I would go with Jimmy G. I think he has the most staying power out of all of them. Then Geno, then Flacco, then Cooper Rush. Those would be the order. Thoughts on Swift? He's a dog. He's a dog. I talked about it before. A lot of people were concerned with starting him this week. I told you guys to play him, and it worked out for the better. Should I pick up Shepard on waivers and start him in my flex over ETN? No, don't panic on ETN. He's got a decent workload for somebody who's getting faded pretty heavily right now. I'm actually not mad at the workload for Travis Etienne. He's a young player, and right now he's the number 2 back. He'll be fine. Think Pitts comes out of the slump? Absolutely. I just talked about it right now. I think Pitts bounces back, whether it's this week or the week after, and you really don't have too many other options when it comes to the tight end anyway. So you're holding on for dear life. It'll pan out. He started slow last year. Just remember that. Trade Derrick Henry straight up for Naji, full PPR. It's up to you. That is a gut call on your end. They both have similar upside. Both carry the same risk. I like Naji more than Derrick Henry, but to each his own. That's one of those, you're playing the game. That's a you call at the end of the day. But I like Naji over Derrick Henry. Should I trade Jonathan Taylor for Swift? Absolutely not. Keep Jonathan Taylor. Trade Mahomes, CEH, and Waller for Kyler, Mixon, Ertz. It's TE premium. Mahomes, CEH, and Waller for Kyler, Mixon, and Ertz. I would rather have the and it's tight end premium. Yeah, just keep Waller, bro. Keep Mahomes and Waller. You'll be all right. Dalvin Cook opinions. I think he bounces back. It's tough seeing him struggle right now, but football has a funny way of working itself out. Like, Dalvin Cook's not going to get 500 yards on the season. So we know he's going to have better days ahead. We saw it last year in the fantasy playoffs when he came back, even with the injury, he dogged it. So don't worry about Dalvin. He'll be fine. It's just a tough start right now. Wentz or Cousins? I like Kirk Cousins still over Wentz. I think Wentz is balling out, though, and he's doing a good job for Washington right now. Deontay Johnson and Hunt for Sutton. Yeah, give me Sutton in that one. Amari Cooper or Jacoby Myers. I'm still going with Amari Cooper on that one. He balled out on Sunday too. That was a good move for him. Questions are coming in. Just keep asking. I'll get to them. Thoughts on Russ? I'm kind of scared so far. With Jerry Jeudy going out and him starting a little bit slow, I get the reason why you would panic. He's more of a high-end QB2 right now until they get things figured out. So over the next few weeks, it might be a struggle. Russell, he'll turn it up at some point, but I don't blame you for being a little concerned. Hopefully you have another option. Joe Burrow for Russ and Bengals defense. I'd rather have Joe Burrow than Russ and Bengals defense right now. Thoughts on Aaron Jones? You see it. He's good. He's not somebody you trade away. He's a top 15 running back, top 10 in my opinion. So I think you keep Aaron Jones in PPR leagues. They're going to need him in order to win games. Should I send Saquon for Eckler straight up? I'd rather have the Saquon side. Who should I start at flex? Michael Thomas, Bateman, or Garrett Wilson? You're starting Michael Thomas at the flex. Bateman is the higher upside, but he has a lot lower floor. He doesn't see as many targets as Michael Thomas will throughout the year. Even though he's had some big plays for touchdowns, Bateman hasn't been seeing the amount of targets that gives me the confidence to put him over Michael Thomas. I would go Michael Thomas, then Bateman, then Garrett Wilson for now. Mike Williams and, who was that? Mike Williams and Curtis for Debo. So Mike Williams and Curtis Samuel for Debo Samuel. I would lock in Debo Samuel's value. I think he's a buy low candidate right now with Jimmy G back. Dalvin Cook for Keenan trade. Give me the Dalvin Cook side. Should I trade A.J. Dillon, Gabe Davis, and Jamal Williams? A.J. Dillon, Gabe Davis, and Jamal Williams for Kamara and St. Brown. Yes, get Kamara and St. Brown. I love that deal for you. What would you do with Schultz? Schultz, man, I would try to find another tight end. If somebody wants to trade him, like maybe give up Schultz and another piece for Kyle Pitts. Like I think somebody would buy that. If you go and you have a piece on your bench that you don't, that you got off of free agents or maybe that you don't believe in, trade him, pair him up with Schultz and try to go get Kyle Pitts. I think that'd be a good move for you. Should I continue holding on to Romeo Doubs? I also have Allen Lazard. I don't think he's worth it in anything over under a 12-team league. If you have a 14-team league, go ahead and get him. But 12-team and under, I don't think he's really worth holding on to. He might have some upside week to week, but he's not somebody like a must-hold for me. Good question, by the way, Brad. Let's see. Eckler, Javonte, sorry, refreshes. I'll get to y'all, man, if I can. Curtis and Javonte for Davante Adams. If it's PPR, give me Davante Adams all day, baby. Eckler and Javonte for Davante Adams, Zeke, and Gibson. Now, this is giving up 2 premium backs, so hopefully you have some other backs. Zeke and Gibson should be fine. I don't mind the deal because I like getting Davante Adams in there. It depends on the size of your league on that one too, because you might need that depth. Those are some strong backs to trade away. So let me know if that was 10-team or 12-team. Let's see. Hello, they want Mike Evans. I get Cordero Patterson. Hell no. Do not do that. No Mike Evans for Cordero Patterson. Thoughts on Kamara? I think he'll bounce back. He's dealing with the rib injury right now, so he might not even be himself on his first start. So even if he plays this week, he's dealing with the same rib injury that Justin Herbert has. So for me, if he's a guy that, like, if I can get him next week, I might. If I have him on my team, I'm not selling him. So Kamara should be fine. He still should be a top back. Let's see. I saw a Hollywood Brown question I wanted to answer. Ask that Hollywood Brown question again. I missed it. Should I trade Swift and Hunt for Lenny and Akers? Swift and Hunt for Lenny and Akers. Yeah, I'll take the upside. Actually, keep Swift and Hunt. Keep Swift and Hunt. You'll be fine. Elliott or Carter. Give me Zeke. Trade Dalvin and ETN for C-Mac and PPR. I would keep Dalvin and ETN. Trade Chase and Henry for Chase for Henry and Judy. Jamar Chase for Henry and Judy. That's not the kind of deal I would make if I had Jamar Chase. I'd be trying to get a whole lot more than that. It's not a bad in theory type deal, but I'd be trying to get more for Jamar Chase, like getting Judy when he's hurt. Jamar Chase is too good of a player to just trade for Derrick Henry, who's solid, but you need a better receiver than that on the back end if you're going to trade Chase. Just depends on your starting lineup. I would try to get more. Kyle Pitts. Oh, it was Kyle Pitts and Cordero Patterson for Mike Evans. That's not the kind of deal I would do for Mike Evans, just to be real. So it was Pitts and Cordero Patterson for Mike Evans. I would get more for Mike Evans. Should I panic about Dalvin Cook? I just talked about Dalvin Cook. You're not panicking. Go buy him if you can. Juju or Curtis Samuel? Right now, it's Curtis Samuel. That KC receiving core is going to be so inconsistent week to week. Now, there's going to be a week where Juju has a monster game, and you're like, I should have got Juju. But over the long haul, it looks like Curtis Samuel has a real locked-in role for this team. So, especially in PPR leagues, I think I'd rather have Curtis Samuel at this juncture. And that's coming from me. Normally, I'm a studs guy. 10-team for Eckler, Javonte. Haven't made the trade yet, but I have Aaron Jones. Oh, yeah, then you doing solid, bro. You good if you have options. I like that. Panic on Zeke? No, I'm not panicking on Zeke. Just know what he is. He's an RB2. He's not an RB1. He might even finish that just because he tends to play the whole season. But week to week, he's more of an RB2 than he is an RB1. So I'm not panicking on Zeke. We know if he gets in the end zone, he's going to have some solid days. Think of him more in like that A.J. Dillon type of range instead of the RB1 range you probably drafted him at. Kyle Pitts or Zach Ertz? I'm going Kyle Pitts all day for the upside. I get Mike Evans and I trade away Curtis Samuel. Should I do it? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Go get Mike Evans if you can. If somebody's panicking about the suspension, go get Mike Evans. Your league mates are probably going to try to veto that deal, but go get him if you can. Get Mike Evans. Start Edmonds or Penny. Both of them are not good starts right now. I trust Rashad Penny a little bit more than Chase Edmonds, but with Raheem Mostert, who, if you have waivers right now, Raheem Mostert's a guy that I would be trying to get in 12-team leagues or higher. Go try to get Raheem Mostert. Yeah, 11 carries, led the team in carries last week. Chase Edmonds, I don't know what's going on there in Miami, but it's kind of concerning. Naji Harris for Devin Singletary and Mike Evans. I would keep Naji Harris. Trade Pittman in London for Chubb and Waller. Is that what it says? Chubb and Waller for Pittman in London. I would be on the Chubb and Waller side. Would you trade Schultz and Jeff Wilson or James Robinson for Pitts? Yes. So that's the kind of move I'd make. Jeff Wilson and Schultz for Pitts. Solid move in my opinion. Or James Robinson. I feel like either one of them is a solid move for Pitts. Start 2, Mike Williams, Sutton, or CeeDee Lamb. I'm going to start Mike Williams and Sutton. We saw Sutton, especially with Jerry Jeudy out, is going to be an awesome start. So, and Mike Williams, it depends on Keenan Allen, but he should still have a lot of targets because Keenan's still banged up. Thoughts on George Kittle? I think he's a good buy low as well. He's going to have a role. We saw him with Jimmy last year. He had almost 1,000 yards. I think he had a career high in touchdowns last year too. So Jimmy was looking his way. This offense needs him. And so I would be trying to get George Kittle before he came back. If you can give a low ball offer to somebody, so Zach Ertz and another player, go get George Kittle, man. Traded Juju for Akers and Henderson. Already have A.J. Brown, Devontae, and Higgins. Is that a win? I think you could have got more for Juju, but I don't mind buying low on Cam Akers. But I think you could have got more for Juju. Sell Diggs. What are you selling Diggs for right now? There ain't no way I'm selling Diggs right now unless you get in the world. There's no reason to sell Stephon Diggs. He's a top 3 to 5 wide receiver any given week. Rex and Chark for Drake London. Absolutely make that deal. Rex Burkhead's an afterthought. DJ Chark, without the touchdown, is going to be getting shut out, as we saw last weekend. So I like buying Drake London at that price. What do I do with Zeke, Henry, Pitts, and Mooney? With Zeke, you just got to manage expectations. He's a running back too. Henry, just know that the better days are coming. It's tough right now because the offense isn't that good, but they played 2 tough defenses back to back. Kyle Pitts is a buy low, and Darnell Mooney is a fade. He's somebody I would be considering dropping in anything under a 12-man league. Breece Hall for Pollard and Garrett Wilson. I probably would keep the Breece Hall side. He has RB2 potential later half of the year. What's James Robinson worth? Test your league out, man. Go try to get some of these guys. Try to look for some of these guys that have been bad over the first 2 weeks. So pair up James Robinson with like another hot piece and try for Derrick Henry. Try for Naji Harris. Like go after these guys who people are panicking on. Alvin Kamara is another one. Like I would try to trade James Robinson as he was a strong RB2. If I had him right now, I would view him as a strong RB2 candidate, but then also be on the lookout to move him. Drop A-Rob for Curtis Samuel or Kirk. No, I'm keeping A-Rob. Henry and Higgins for Cooper Kupp. I would rather have the Cooper Kupp side just because it's tough to get elite production like that. We're looking at another season like that for Cooper Kupp. If I had Cooper Kupp, I'm not trading him at all. What to do with Naji? I just talked about it. Hold Naji. You'll be good. I'm assuming I mean CD and Drake for Thomas. CC. Ask that one again. CC Drake for Thomas. Ask that one again. If you're hanging out with me on YouTube, I'm answering questions on there too. What do you think about sending Lazard and Jeff Wilson for Kyle Pitts? I actually like this move a little bit more than most. Lazard is a high upside guy though, week to week, but we saw Aaron Rodgers is going to be spreading it out. Jeff Wilson is probably going to get faded at some point in the season. They were trying to give TDP a lot of carries. Elijah Mitchell will be back. I like getting this deal for Kyle Pitts and securing the value. I would try to give up a little bit less, though, if you could. Try to work that deal a little bit more in your favor. I feel like that's an overpay for Kyle Pitts, but he's worth it. So if you feel like you can give that up and the team can support it, I'm all for it. Hold on to James Cook. In Dynasty Leagues, yes. In redraft, I'm good with you dropping him. Traded Hollywood Brown and Naji Harris for Leonard Fournette and Keenan Allen. Is that good? I like that deal for Keenan Allen. And Fournette, I think Fournette bounces back. Derrick Henry for Jamar Chase. Now, if you can get Jamar Chase, I feel like it's a good time to get him in PPR leagues and standard leagues. I would hold Derrick Henry. Trade St. Brown and Monty for Chase. Nah. That's the kind of deal I normally would make, but St. Brown has a clear role in this offense. Actually, I do that deal. What am I talking about? I do that deal. St. Brown and David Montgomery for Chase. I do that 100%. What's CMC worth? He's the top. View him as a top 5 running back, nothing less. Swift for Javonte Williams. I'd probably be on the Swift side. It looks like he has a better role within that offense. Should I trade Gabe Davis for Garrett Wilson? No, that's not the kind of move I make. Hold Gabe Davis. He still has a lot of upside in that offense. We saw Josh Allen is on a mission this year. We saw that yesterday. Zeke and Kelsey for Swift and Andrews. Zeke and Kelsey for Swift and Andrews. I probably would lean towards the Swift and Andrews side. And that's saying a lot for me. I'm a huge Kelsey fan. Debo and James Robinson for Stephon Diggs. I like getting Stephon Diggs at that price tag. Breece and Swift for Mixon and Deontay. Give me the Swift and Breece side. I'm not a fan of Deontay Johnson this season, and he got a little banged up on Sunday. Someone in my league offered Mike Evans and Terry McLaurin for Juju and Curtis Samuel. Whoever's getting Mike Evans and Terry McLaurin wins that deal. Best players to trade for. Good question. So I have a few values right now. Best players to trade for. George Kittle and Kyle Pitts stand out to me at the tight end position. At running back, Derrick Henry, Dalvin Cook, Naji Harris, Cam Akers for the low is another one that I would pick up. At the quarterback position, I like Trevor Lawrence if you can get him. I think he's going to outplay even what he's been doing now. And then for the low, Carson Wentz is somebody that you should be trying to acquire for the cheap. And then at the receiver position, I'd be trying to buy Allen Robinson. A lot of people are still fading Allen Robinson and thinking that you can't get him. DeAndre Hopkins, Keenan Allen are some other names that come to mind of buy low candidates you can get for the cheap. Good question. Chosen comment guy. Like that question, man. Should I be worried about Scary Terry? He's not a top 15 wide receiver. He's more of a high-end wide receiver 3 in this offense. Let's see. Should I panic on ETN? I'm not panicking on Travis Etienne. I think his workload increases as the season goes on. It just depends on what you had him as. Like, did you think he was going to be a top 10, top 12 running back? Then, yeah, it's a panic mode. But if you drafted him as an RB2, he's a back-end RB2. I'm not really mad at his value right now. Thoughts on Montgomery this Sunday, or should I play Dalvin Cook? You're still playing Dalvin Cook over David Montgomery. Thoughts on Antonio Gibson? He's my RB2. JT is my RB1, but wide receivers are Diggs, Hill, Pittman. I think he's a solid RB2. Antonio Gibson is solid. He should be good for the rest of at least until Brian Robinson comes back. Then things might get a little bit sketchy, but for now, I think you should be rocking with Antonio Gibson and feeling good. Should I panic about Thielen? Yeah, I talked about Thielen having a down year. I'm not excited for him. It looks like Justin Jefferson are busting this offense, so I think they get him involved. I'm not necessarily saying I'd sell low. If I didn't have him, I'd be looking to get him for the low, but Thielen is not a player that I'm chasing right now. Justin, what up? Let a Fish was good, dude. Thoughts on Kamara? I talked about Kamara. He's a buy low for me. What defense should I pick up this week? I'm not thinking about defenses right now. If you can get the Saints, I know they have a pretty easy matchup this week. Who should I get in return for CMC? I think you should hold CMC if you can. He's not somebody I'd be looking to trade. What to do with Joe Burrow? I think better days are ahead for Joe Burrow and this Bengals offense. Thoughts on Najee? Same thing. He's dealing with an injury right now, so sometimes it makes things a little bit difficult. But give him some time, man. Give Najee some time. He should be fine. Thoughts on Goff or Garoppolo? I think Goff right now, with the way St. Brown is playing, you can't really knock Goff right now. I'd rather have Goff than Jimmy G right now. Let's see. Kamara and Bateman for CMC. Man, that's tough. That's a tough deal. I normally lean on the CMC side there. Get the elite talent. It's fair value, though, across the board. I like that deal for both sides. Let's see. Thoughts on Taylor? Taylor will be fine. Let's see. Traded Hollywood in a first and a fourth in Dynasty. For Jamar. Thoughts? Hollywood in the first for Jamar Chase. Shit, you got Jamar Chase. I think that's a win. Tua or Goff? I'm rocking with Tua for the rest of the season. Thoughts on Derrick Henry? He'll be fine. Is Jonathan Taylor going to be great? Yes, he will. Let's see. Kirk for Russ Ingram. I got Russ. Russ and Ingram for Christian Kirk. I want the Christian Kirk side, or is that Kirk Cousins? Give me more detail. Saquon and Dotson for Pitts, Devontae Adams, and A.J. Dillon. Give me the Pitts, Devontae Adams, and A.J. Dillon side. Thoughts on Akers week 3? I think he bounces back in a major way. I think Cam Akers is going to have – he led the team in carries this week, which is kind of where this thing has been heading the whole time. There was something going on, it seemed like doghouse-wise, or maybe he wasn't fully ready, but it seemed like there was some doghouse stuff going on with effort. The term effort was thrown out there with Cam Akers. So we saw him lead the team in carries. I think he'll be fine moving forward. Rashad Bateman or J.K. Dobbins rest of the season. Give me Rashad Bateman in PPR leagues. Let's see. What is going on with Derrick Henry? Derrick Henry, I talked about it. He'll be fine. It's just the offense right now has been struggling. That whole offense in general has been struggling. I think I'll send Lazard for Pitts straight up. The Pitts owner is a Packers fan. No tight end spot in the league, though. Yeah, especially if there's no tight end spot, then I wouldn't be sending what you talked about earlier. You talked about Lazard and somebody else. I think that's a fair move, though. Lazard for Pitts straight up, that's a trade I would do. Sell Mike Williams high right now? Absolutely. I am doing the same. I sent out a bunch of Mike Williams offers for the players that I talked about. So if you're watching and you're in the league, know I'm coming for him. Pitts is letting me down. Don't worry about it, man. Sutton for David Montgomery. Keep Sutton. Buy Swift. Yes, I'm buying DeAndre Swift. Jonathan Taylor, Nick Chubb, and Mixon for Mixon and Tyreek. Taylor and Chubb for Mixon and Tyreek. If you need a receiver, I'm not mad at it. I would try to hold the Taylor and Chubb side. Justin, are you ignoring me? I just talked to you, my man. What's good? What do you need? You got a question or what's up? Hey, it's Tuesday. I gotta get these trade questions done, bro. Top 3 running backs end of the year. It's too tough to predict right now. Daniel Jones or Baker? I'm probably rocking with. I feel like Baker might get benched at some point this year. I'll go with Daniel Jones, and both of them are shitty options. Sell Waddle or keep high? I'm not mad if you sell Waddle for the high. I think he settles in as a mid-tier wide receiver 2 to back-end wide receiver 2, but he's going to have some chunk weeks like he did last week. Damien Pierce, thoughts on the rest of the season? I think you're going to have to, you have him, and he's a high-end running back 3, low-tier running back 2. Deeper leagues. Let's see. Trade CD, get Kamara, full PPR. I don't mind getting Kamara in that deal. You ignore me. Everybody says you ignore me. I get hella questions, man. I'm trying to get them all in. If you want your question answered for sure, head over to YouTube, Justin Henry Show. I'm live right now on YouTube. I'm answering every single question that comes in from people who are subscribed on YouTube. I've answered every single question that comes in. So if I'm missing you on here, head to YouTube, Justin Henry Show, subscribe, and I'll answer your question 100%. Start Drake London. Yes, sir. We're starting Drake London. Trade Naji, get Javonte. I would keep Naji, but I'm not mad if you do it. If you're frustrated with him, that's your call at the end of the day and a straight up deal. Who should I get in return for Mike Williams? A high-end wide receiver 2. Let's see. Joe Mixon. I like Joe Mixon. What more do you got on him, man? Thoughts on TJ Hawkinson? I'm not in on TJ Hawkinson. I feel like TJ Hawkinson might be a fade at this point. I would try to go get Kyle Pitts with pair him up. Go get Kyle Pitts or Kittle. I have St. Brown as a worth trading. Sutton, J-Rob, and Dotson. I would keep St. Brown in that deal. Trade Leonard Fournette. No, keep him. He'll keep him after he gets his touchdown. He talked about getting a touchdown, so I know it's coming. I have Keenan Allen on IR, but I need to drop a player on my bench. My bench is Mike Gesicki, Jamal Williams, Irv Smith, Isaiah Spiller, Daniel Jones. Who do I drop? I'm cool with you dropping Isaiah Spiller. Start Garrett Wilson or Allen Lazard. I'm starting Garrett Wilson after last week. That was amazing what he did. Pick 2, ETN, Patterson, Bateman, or Dillon. I am benching Patterson and ETN. I'm starting Bateman and Dillon. Trade away Dillon, Chase, and Hunt for Waddle, Javonte, and Higgins. Waddle, Javonte, Higgins, Dillon, Chase, Hunt. I think you're trading away the best player, but you're getting a lot back. Higgins, Javonte, and Waddle's enough for me. Let's see. What are we thinking of DK Metcalf? He's a back-end wide receiver 2, high-end wide receiver 3 with a very, very low floor. So I'm not too happy with DK Metcalf. I traded him in one of my leagues. Thoughts on Lamb and Kenyon Drake for Michael Thomas, full PPR. I think that's trading a little bit too low. Drop Brevin Jordan for Conklin. Yeah, I don't mind that pickup. Getting Conklin. The questions are flooding in on YouTube, so I'm going to try to get these all knocked out where I can. Let's see. I just missed, let's see. Garrett Wilson, AJ Dillon, A-Rob, or Kareem Hunt at flex. I would go with A-Rob, then AJ Dillon at the flex, one of those two. What do you think about Curtis Samuel? I think he's a good target right now for Washington, and he's probably their wide receiver 1 just de facto. He's going to get a lot of targets. Should I take the risk and start Curtis Samuel over Mike Williams? No, don't get cute. Start Mike Williams. Sutton and Henderson for Saquon. I would not do that deal. I keep Saquon. Kirk versus Tua. Give me Kirk Cousins still. Trade Swift for Cook. That's a gut call at the end of the day. These 1-for-1s a lot of times are gut calls. I would rather have Dalvin Cook than DeAndre Swift. Hollywood Brown for A.J. Dillon. I'm not mad at getting rid of Hollywood Brown right now, especially because D-Hop's going to be back in 3-4 weeks. So I'm not mad at that return. What are some wide receiver twos you're aiming for by trading away Mike Williams? Go get Keenan Allen is one. Let's see. You could probably get like Debo in a deal, like Debo and somebody else. Not Tyreek Hill anymore. I would have mentioned him. Mike Evans is another one. Like Mike Evans is probably a good guy you can go get. So Mike Williams for Mike Evans is a deal a lot of people would probably do. Saquon or James Robinson, going with Saquon all day. Start Tua, Waddle, or Kyler. I'm assuming that's DFS. I probably would rebound with Kyler in Hollywood because I'm not expecting a rebound. I'm not expecting a repeat of Tua and Waddle. Let's see. I have Aaron Rodgers as my QB1. Should I switch him out? No, I think he's fine. You just got to lower your expectations. You probably got him as like the QB 10, 11, or 12, so just lower your expectations. I answered this one. Is trading Eckler and Terry McLaurin for Amon-Ra St. Brown and David Montgomery crazy? It's a little high. It's not crazy, but it's a little high. Garrett, I already answered this one. Pick 3, Christian Kirk, Lamb, London, Bateman, or Miles Sanders. I'm not playing Miles Sanders or probably Drake London, and I won't feel good about that later on. Edmonds and Mike Williams for Derrick Henry. Chase Edmonds and Mike Williams for Derrick Henry. I like that deal. That's a little bit of buy low, though. You're going to get reamed for that one in your league. Let's see. Start Waddle against the Bills. Yeah, we're still starting Waddle. We're not benching him. Which line would you rather have, St. Brown or Swift? I would rather have Swift than Amon-Ra St. Brown. I feel like there might be a period of time where he dips off, but dude is solid, bro. Start Wentz or Stafford. I'm still starting Stafford. Let's see. Hollywood or London at the flex. Give me Hollywood at the flex still. Trade Debo to get Dalvin Cook. I ain't mad at that deal. Go get Dalvin Cook. Should I trade Derek Carr? Derek Carr, you probably got him as your QB2, so either hold him or if you can get a better quarterback, go ahead and move him. Gabe Davis or Drake London? No, you're still keeping Gabe Davis. What trade do you like better, Diggs for Hill and Damien Harris or Diggs for Kamara and Pittman? Boom, second one, Kamara and Pittman for Diggs. I love that deal. Kelsey and Hollywood Brown for Javonte Williams, DJ Moore, and Kittle. I like cashing out and getting the Kittle, Javonte Williams, and DJ Moore side. Should I trade Etienne, Olave, and Melvin G for Christian Kirk? Or Etienne and Olave for Melvin Gordon and Christian Kirk? No, keep Etienne and Olave. This became a trade show. This was supposed to be a waiver wire show. How did this become a trade show all of a sudden? Appreciate the questions, guys. If you're hanging out with me, make sure to follow along. Sub to the YouTube if you're on here. Make sure you follow along on TikTok. I do this daily, so you can ask me questions like this all the time. Trying to knock them out for you guys right now. Do you like Jamar Chase going forward? Absolutely. I love Jamar Chase going forward. Just a bad game. I like this team with Aaron Rodgers. Will Zeke turn it around or should I look to trade? You can trade him for the high, do it, but he's a running back too still. Is $32 too much FAAB on Garrett Wilson? I don't think so. I think Garrett Wilson has a solid place, but it depends on your budget. If it's a $200 budget, I'm okay with it. If it's a $100 budget, you might be stretching it. Drop Renfro for Olave. Don't do that. Keep Renfro. Let's see. Garrett Wilson over Renfro. No, not yet. Best week 2 FanDuel plays. I have to take a look at it. Let's see. Jimmy G has a QB2 off of waivers. I'm good with that. Who wins? Mike Williams, Jalen Waddle, Andrews for Waller and Jefferson. Give me the Waller and Jefferson side. Questions coming in hot. Y'all making me have to get the water real quick. The water break. Let's see. Etienne, I already answered this one. Did I answer this one? Pick 3. Christian Kirk, Terry McLaurin, CeeDee Lamb, Bateman, London, Miles Sanders, and half-point PPR. I think I answered this one. I'm benching London and Miles Sanders in this one. No, I didn't answer this one. I'm benching Terry McLaurin, actually, and Miles Sanders in this one. Trade A.J. Brown and Dillon for Cook, non-PPR. Yeah, I would get Dalvin Cook in that deal. What should I do with Dobbins? Should I try to trade for him, Jacobs or Montgomery, or keep him? I would try to trade J.K. Dobbins. It might take a couple weeks for him to get fully healthy. If you're hanging out here on TikTok, I'm answering every single question on YouTube if I can, Justin Henry Show, but I'm answering all the questions I can right here. I'm about to go rapid fire. Who do I trade Naji for? Keep Naji if you can. Don't trade him for the low. Give Henry another week or shop him. I would give Henry another week at least. Trade Kamara for Russ or in Freiermuth. I would keep Kamara on that one. Amon-Ra St. Brown or T. Higgins at the flex. I'm still rocking with T. Higgins. Should I trade Murray, Chase Pitts for Josh Allen and Jonathan Taylor? Murray, Chase Pitts for I need to know more on that deal. More settings, because that deal seems pretty even to me. Pitts a buy low. Yes, buy low on Pitts. Let's see. I got $84 left. Want to make 2 big moves. Is AJ Dillon and Juju plus 15 for Henry a good move? Yes, do that deal. T-Man, do that deal. Play Kamara or Robinson. If Kamara plays, I play him. You know, we learned that with Swift. Even if the guys are banged up, you still play him. All right, here we go. Should I try to? Let's see. No, back here to this one. Edmonds and Mike Williams for Derrick Henry. Please help. Yeah, I like getting Derrick Henry in that deal. Chase and Mike Williams. Yeah, Chase and Mike Williams for Henry. I like that deal. A lot of people might turn their nose on that one, but I like getting Derrick Henry for that price. Dylan or Zeke? I'm rocking with Zeke still. Should I trade Javonte in a package for Mixon or keep him? If you can get in that second piece. Just depends on what that second piece is. Don't give up too much. Kelsey and Hollywood Brown for Javonte, DJ Moore and Kittle. I like that Kittle side. I think I answered that one already. Should I add Raheem Mostert if I have Edmonds? Yes, Raheem Mostert is a buy this week in free agency. So if you have free agent dollars, I'd spend a couple. Nothing too crazy on Raheem Mostert. He had the most carries this weekend, but I'm not spending a whole lot on Raheem Mostert. He's somebody I'd add. There's not a lot of ads this week. Like Garrett Wilson in smaller leagues, 10-team and under. Raheem Mostert's kind of one of the big ones in 12-team leagues. There's not a whole lot of must-add players this week. So just know that. Don't spend too crazy. I got Tyler Higbee as my tight end. Can I pick up Gerald? I can pick up Gerald Everett. Higbee has a role. I think you could pick up Everett, but remember, Everett started turning up because Keenan Allen's out. A lot of people forget that. So if you have Everett on your team, try to flip him too. A lot of his production has come because Keenan Allen's been out. So just remember that. Should I keep Herbert or try to trade for Hurts? Keep Herbert. He'll be fine. Even with the broken ribs, he should be good. How do I start DJ Moore, Deontay Johnson, or Hollywood Brown? I would start Hollywood, then Deontay, then DJ Moore. Let's see. Back to TikTok. Here we go. I traded Josh Palmer for Darnell Mooney. Did I win that? No. Darnell Mooney is not a buy right now. Javonte a buy low. I think Javonte's a buy low too. Good call on that. He just doesn't have. He's a high end RB2. Don't value him much more than that. But yes, Javonte is a buy low right now. He's not the top 5 guy you thought you were getting when everybody was talking about this offseason. Trade Kamara for Saquon. That's a wash deal. They're both very similar to me. That's a preference deal. Should I trade J-Rob for Bateman? Yes, go get Bateman in that one. Garrett Wilson, legit. Garrett Wilson is absolutely legit. Jacoby Myers has been a win for me. Man, he's playing better than I thought he would. Darrell Williams or Eno Benjamin if Connor goes out now. This is a tough one. If Connor is out, they are both. It's going to be a running back by committee. Darrell Williams you can get at a cheaper price than Eno Benjamin. So I would try to get both of them. And if that makes sense, like if you have one player to drop, put Benjamin ahead of Darrell Williams. But Darrell Williams might be cheaper if you need to spend the FAAB to go get him. So just I would not spend too much on either of those guys. It'll be a running back by committee. Thoughts on Gibson? He'll be okay until Brian Robinson gets back. For sure, locked in. Let's see. Waller and Hopkins for A.J. Brown. If you have another tight end, I would keep the Hopkins and Waller side. Sell Michael Thomas. If you can lock in top 15 value 1,000% with Mike Thomas, do it. Otherwise, keep him. He's a high-end wide receiver 2, back-end wide receiver 1. Mike Evans and Patterson for Diggs. Do that deal instantly. Get Stephon Diggs. Bateman or Curtis Samuel. I like Rashad Bateman over Curtis Samuel. Debo or St. Brown as a wide receiver 2. I'm sticking with Debo Samuel. Will Tua keep it up? He'll be better than you probably drafted him. So I don't know what those numbers look like any given week, but Tua should be fine. He has great passing options there in Miami. Would you have accepted Hawkinson, Jeff Wilson, and Eli Mitchell for Kittle and Montgomery? Hawkinson, Jeff Wilson, and Mitchell for Kittle and Montgomery. I would have had the Kittle side. What do you think Michael Thomas's value is? He's top 15 wide receiver. Don't trade him for less than that. Do you think Christian Kirk will do good this week? Absolutely. Christian Kirk is locked in. He's high-end wide receiver 3, lone wide receiver 2. His value solidified. Fournette and Mike Williams for Eckler and Godwin. Give me the Fournette, Mike Williams side. Dotson or Myers. Dotson for the upside, Myers for the floor. So it just depends on your preference. I probably will go Dotson for the upside. Who knows? He might have a 0 and do that. So I would take the upside with Dotson personally. 12-man said Henry for Antonio Gibson and Debo. It's a wash. That's a depth for a stud move. I like getting studs, so give me Derrick Henry. But Debo's a stud in his own right. So if you need the depth, I'm not mad at it, getting a receiver and a good running back. Another question right here. A Gib and A Rob for Henry. See, that's the kind of deal. That's another deal right there. Lance, when you're looking at it, somebody's offering Antonio Gibson and A Rob for Henry. So you know you're getting a good deal getting Debo. Should I start Rodgers or Wilson? They're both pretty similar to me. Give me Aaron Rodgers. What's up, bro? Who wins? I win, baby. Let's go. I have Diggs, no question. Just pumped. Hell yeah. Diggs is solid, bro. He's solid. Top 5 for sure. He's entering that top 3 to 4 territory. It's him and Adams are like neck and neck to me. Jamar Chase is right there with him too. Should I trade MT and Lamb for Henry and Lockett? MT and Lamb for Henry and Lockett. No, keep MT and Lamb. AJ Dillon or Kareem Hunt this week. I got to take a look at the matchups before I give you a solid play there. I traded Dotson and Goddard for Pitts and Olave. I think that's a win. Good move. Pitts and Olave for Dotson and Goddard. Yeah, solid move, bro. Edmonds and Dotson for Kittle. Give me the Kittle side. Flip CEH for Akers and Mooney. Thoughts? If Akers is better than CEH, you win. But I'm not buying in on Mooney. Unless you can flip Mooney for higher. Should I get rid of Spiller or wait till he comes back? I think you can get rid of Spiller. You can probably get him in a couple weeks. Keenan, Judy, Penny for Debo and Pierce. I don't like giving up Keenan and Judy I don't mind giving up Keenan and Judy for Debo. Go ahead and get Debo. I'm good with that. Sell high on Ertz to buy low on Pitts straight up. Yes. Get Kyle Pitts. Bateman or London? I'm rocking with Bateman this week. Should I keep Eckler or trade him? If trade, then who should I target? I think you could trade Eckler and just trade him as a running back 1. Try to get one of these other guys, a Derrick Henry in another piece, a Dalvin Cook in another piece, a Naji in another piece. Trust me, I'm getting comments right now on TikTok. Those kind of trades are happening. So go get another elite running back who's been faded right now and lock in the value there. Start CD or Bateman. I'm still starting CD Lamb over Bateman. Joe Burrow or Wentz for 3 to 4 weeks. Joe Burrow for the next 3 to 4 weeks still. Should I trade Burrow, Waddle, and Zeke for Fournette? Absolutely not. You like Greg Dortch? No, but it's funny because Rondale Moore has been out this whole time. This just lets me know they're going to be using that slot a lot more. So Rondale Moore might even be like a sneaky pickup to keep on your bench if he's out there. I'm not like a huge Rondale Moore guy, but Dortch has proven that they're going to use him. He'll have some value, but once Rondale Moore and D-Hop get back, he's useless. Javonte for Sutton and DJ Moore. Give me the Sutton and DJ Moore side if you have some running backs you could start. Mike Williams for Pittman, who wins there? That's neck and neck. That's a preference deal. I don't like doing preference deals, but give me Pittman. I prefer Pittman, but that's a gut call for you at the end of the day. I have Pittman ranked higher over Mike Williams for what it's worth. Trade Derrick Henry and Mike Williams for Stephon Diggs. I feel like that's giving up too much for Diggs. Should I try and piece Kareem Hunt in a deal or keep him in case Chubb gets hurt this year? You can't play scared. Don't play scared. Go ahead and trade Kareem Hunt. If you can get another piece that helps your starting lineup, go do that. Don't play scared. Don't play for bye weeks. Kareem Hunt has almost enough standalone value to play. So if you can't play him, trade him up and get a better player. Thoughts on Antonio Gibson this week? Should I use him as Thoughts on Antonio Gibson this week? I have him as my flex. Should I keep him in 8-man? That's a good flex. There's nothing wrong with keeping Antonio Gibson unless you can move him for a better player. All right, here we go. Back to TikTok. I got y'all. Should I trade Jettas? No. It does not matter. You saying Dotson and Eckler? Hell no. You do not trade Justin Jefferson right now. Traded Fournette and Tua for Jonathan Taylor. Is that a good deal? Absolutely. I think that's a great deal for you. Start Mike Williams or Bateman? I'm starting Mike Williams. How is Naji Harris? Naji Harris will be fine. He's having a slow start. He's been injured the first 2 weeks. Give it another week or two before you panic. Thoughts on Kamara? I've talked about Kamara. I think he's somebody I'd be trying to acquire. The rib injury is a little concerning, but you could probably get him for the low. Fournette and Andrews for Cooper Kupp. If I can get Cooper Kupp at any cost, I'm getting Cooper Kupp. Don't give up too much, obviously, but for Fournette and Andrews, if the guys willing to trade him, I think that's a fair deal. Derrick Henry and Kelsey for Diggs. Do not do that. Keep Derrick Henry and Kelsey. Try to find a different player outside of Kelsey, or Derrick Henry for Diggs straight up is probably good enough. If he really wants a little bit more, find a back-end receiver that you don't start. Start Cooks or Pierce. I would start Brandon Cooks all day. Who wins this trade? MT and St. Brown for Dalvin Cook, Mahomes, Lamb, and Hollywood Brown. The Dalvin Cook, Mahomes, Lamb side. Go get that all day. Let's see. Hollywood Brown and Lamb for Taylor. Give me Jonathan Taylor in that deal. Mixon and McLaurin for Swift. A bad deal. Yes, that's a bad deal. Keep Mixon and McLaurin. Thoughts on King Henry? He'll bounce back. I think Derrick Henry will bounce back. He's had 2 tough matchups. It happens. So I'm not too concerned about Derrick Henry. Now, if you're telling me this 2 weeks from now, then I'll be concerned. But right now, I'm trying to buy Derrick Henry. Let's see. Some more questions came in from YouTube. I'm also on YouTube answering every single question that comes in there. Justin Henry Show. Make sure you guys subscribe on YouTube if you can. If you're on YouTube and you haven't followed me on TikTok, head over to TikTok and drop me a follow on there too if I've helped you out. Let's see. We are at, did that one already. DJ Moore for CD. Go get CD Lamb. I like this deal. Go get CD Lamb. A lot of people are panicking. I think it's good locking in the value for CD Lamb. I answered this one on TikTok. Tua and Waddle versus the Bills, or Kyler Murray and Hollywood Brown versus the Rams. I probably would still go with Kyler Murray and Hollywood Brown. I feel like if this is a DFS question, which it sounds like to me, I like that stack better than the Tua Waddle stack next week. Is this a good trade? CEH Sutton for Mixon and Godwin. CEH and Sutton for Mixon and Godwin. I would rather have the... Give me the Mixon and Godwin side. It's an ugly deal, though. Thoughts on Zeke? I think he's an RB2. I've talked about this. I think he's a running back, too. You know what you have with him. He doesn't have a whole lot of upside to finish the season as a top RB, but he's going to have a role in this offense. Should I trade Henry? I'd be trying to buy Henry. Felipe, what's good? He said, yo, Justin, what's good? What are your thoughts on this trade offer I received? Jeff Wilson Jr., Devontae Adams for Derrick Henry, D. Johnson, Elliott, and need for running backs. I don't really like that deal, to be honest. I would keep Devontae Adams and try to get somebody better than Deontay Johnson and Elliott back in the deal. So if you can get Derrick Henry with another additional piece, like try to consolidate that and get a better running back than just having Deontay Johnson and Elliott. Those are 2 more question marks. Get a more solid receiver or running back if you can. Actually, receiver, because you're trading away Devontae. Get a more solid receiver than Deontay Johnson. What do you think about my starting lineup? Burrow, A.J. Brown, Hollywood Brown, Aaron Jones, Mixon, Higbee. It looks like it needs a little more beef, man. You're missing out. Your tight end is okay. You have a bunch of okay pieces, like Hollywood Brown's an okay running back too, or wide receiver too. I would try to trade up Hollywood Brown and try to trade up Higbee if you could. Back to TikTok here for a minute. Let's see. Stafford or Tua the rest of the season. I'm still going with Stafford. Would you do CeeDee Lamb and Montgomery for James Conner and Deontay Johnson? I would rather have CeeDee Lamb out of all of that. What's up, bro? What's good? Power on Electric. Who wins? Lamb and Waller for Thomas and Knox. Give me the Lamb and Waller side. Naji for Devin Singletary and Mike Evans. I'm keeping Naji at that price. Concern for Naji. A little bit of concern, but it's been 2 weeks. We're in a 17-game season. 18 weeks overall. We're only in week 2, so I'm not panicking on any stud, really. There's no stud in the top that was drafted in the top 20 that I'm truly panicking on right now. CeeDee Lamb was one that I had a little concern with, but even he's eased those concerns for me. DJ Moore for Gabe Davis and Kareem Hunt. I would take the Gabe Davis and Kareem Hunt side. Panic on Pitts? Absolutely not. Go buy Kyle Pitts. Start Michael Thomas or Hollywood at the flex. I'm starting Michael Thomas. Trade Henderson for Gabe Davis. Go get Gabe Davis in that deal. Chase Edmonds for Javonte Williams. Go get Javonte Williams over Chase Edmonds easily. Do I trade Jettas for Eckler and Dotson? Absolutely not. You keep Jettas even if you need a running back. That's not the deal I would do. Go get a better running back than Eckler. If you're trading Justin Jefferson, it better be for the world. I don't care who your other receivers are. Thoughts on Swift? He's good. He played. He had an ankle injury. Keep him. He's solid. He's back in RB1 with high upside week to week. Will DJ Moore improve? DJ Moore is who he is. He's a wide receiver 2. He's mid wide receiver 2. That's what DJ Moore is. 1,204. We know what DJ Moore is every single year. Panic on Dalvin Cook? Absolutely not. I'm buying Dalvin Cook. Mike Williams or CeeDee Lamb rest of the year? Give me CeeDee Lamb rest of the year. Thoughts on Montgomery? I'm not in on David Montgomery like a lot of other people are. But to me, he had a solid outing. I would try to trade him for the high if I could. Gibson for Jacobs. I think you're keeping Antonio Gibson. I get why you're asking that question, though. It's a very good question in case Brian Robinson comes back. It's just you could probably get more for Gibson right now than just Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs did lead the team in carries, but he hasn't performed like we want to see out of a running back too. So I would try to get more for Gibson or just keep him for the next couple weeks. Would you trade Waddle for Naji in PPR leagues and Dynasty? I would still keep Naji. It's a very good question in Dynasty, though, but with Tyreek Hill for the next 4 or 5 years or whatever the contract was, I'm still rocking with Naji. I believe in Naji. He's still young enough too. Trade Hollywood Brown or Pittman for Drake London. Hollywood Brown or Pittman for Drake London? No. Maybe I'm trading Hollywood Brown, but I'm probably keeping Hollywood Brown even through all this, man, over Drake London. I would keep both of those guys. Start Zay Jones or Sterling Shepard at the flex. I got to see the matchup. Probably Zay Jones over Sterling Shepard. I got to see the matchups, though, to be real with you. Need tight end help and wide receiver help. Tight end help, if you can go get him. Tyler Higbee is an option. Logan Thomas is also another option for Washington, who is now healthy. And in deeper leagues, Tyler Conklin has somehow carved out a role for this Jets team. Those are 3 options I would be looking at in a shallow league. Tyler Higbee's probably available. Logan Thomas in like 12-team leagues, and then Tyler Conklin in a little bit deeper leagues if you need help. Wideout help, there's not much out there. If you can get Treylon Burks or Garrett Wilson, go ahead and do it. Curtis Samuel in more shallow leagues is going to give you some help. And if you're looking out a little bit further, if somebody happened to drop Michael Gallup, some of those high upside guys, go ahead and get them. But there's not a lot of wide receiver help this week. All right, back to TikTok real quick. I appreciate the questions. Make sure you guys follow. I'm trying to get as many questions as I can. If you're not subbed to the YouTube, it's Justin Henry Show. I'm answering every question there. I appreciate y'all running up the likes, running up the follows. It helps out. Trust me, man, it does. So Naji or Mixon, I'll probably go with Naji still. But I talked about those straight ups. That's a preference call at the end of the day. Don't kill me for it. How do you feel about Derrick Henry? I'm buying Derrick Henry. Should I trade Pittman for Zeke and Sutton? I would keep Michael Pittman. Are you starting Dotson, Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, ETN over DK? I'm starting Breece Hall over DK. 2 QB league. Wilson and Ryan just aren't doing it. Yeah, I don't blame you, bro. It's tough. Just try to find somebody else on waivers or maybe you could trade Russell Wilson and another piece who you don't really value and try to just get a slight upgrade. Try to get into that, or maybe go get Trevor Lawrence. I talked about getting him. Try to go get Trevor Lawrence, who you could probably get for the low still. He should have better days too ahead. I like Trevor Lawrence a lot this year. Should I trade Curtis Samuel for Boyd and Sutton? Yes, go get Cortland Sutton out of that deal. Mixon or Kamara? I'd rather have Joe Mixon than Kamara right now. Who are good buy low players? I talked about it. Kyle Pitts, Derrick Henry, Dalvin Cook, Cam Akers for super cheap. Trevor Lawrence is another one. Those are some guys that I like buy low wise. All right, let's see. We're back on YouTube. AJ Brown for Hollywood and CEH. Yeah, go get AJ Brown. I like getting AJ Brown in that deal. Let's see. Should I trade James Conner, Christian Kirk, and Hollywood Brown for Kamara and Dawson Knox? I like getting Kamara in that deal. Need a tight end and wideout because Evans is suspended. Yeah, there's not a whole lot of options out there wide receiver wise. If you can get Noah Brown from the Cowboys, like I said, Garrett Wilson, if you can try to spend for him a little bit, there's not a whole lot of saving grace when it comes to the receiver position this week. Lastly, thoughts on the starting lineup: Russell Diggs, Hill, JT, Gibson, Everett, Schultz, Hollywood Brown, or Pittman as a flex. I think you're looking solid. So not really a whole lot you could do there outside of trying to upgrade Antonio Gibson if you can. All right, here we go. Start ETN or Kirk. I'm starting, is that Christian Kirk? I'm starting Christian Kirk over ETN right now. Boswell or Butker, I don't do kickers. Trade Ertz, Monty, James Robinson for Mark Andrews and Michael Carter. Ertz, Monty, James Robinson for Michael Carter, Mark Andrews. I like locking in Mark Andrews. You can find other running backs like Monty and James Robinson throughout the year. Is Robert Woods droppable? Anything under a 10-team league, I'm dropping him. 12-team, I'm holding out for one more week, but he's not a must-hold, in my opinion. MT and Kamara for Taylor. I think that's too much. Akers or Zeke. I'm still rocking with Zeke on that one. Let's see. Give up JT and Moore for Adams and Swift. Yeah, go get Adams and Swift. Is that DJ Moore, I'm assuming, or Elijah Moore? I don't know what Moore that is, but I like getting Adams and Swift there. Thoughts on Lamb, Patterson, and Thielen for Debo? That's way too much. Thoughts on Brian Robinson? Could be a good stash here in free agency. You probably be able to pick him up for the low. All right. Ayuk or Deontay Johnson this week? I have to take a look at the matchups, to be honest. Probably picking Deontay Johnson until I see a little bit more out of Ayuk. Let's see. Is Wilson the truth? Man, we're going to find out about Russell Wilson here next week, but he's going to struggle with Jerry Jeudy's out for any significant amount of time. He'll pick up as the year goes on. Unless you're talking about Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson is the truth, but he's more of a flex wide receiver 3 than he is like a high upside wide receiver 2 right now. Let's see. Juju, keep or drop. You keep Juju. Trade him after a big week. Who should I start? Dotson or Brandon Cooks at the flex? I'm going to start Brandon Cooks at the flex. Michael Thomas or CeeDee Lamb? I would start Michael Thomas right now over CeeDee Lamb. Do you think Pollard will eventually outperform Zeke? I think it'll be more of a split. He'll have weeks where he outperforms, and there's going to be some weeks where he doesn't do as well either. Make sure y'all hit that follow button. I'm going to log off for TikTok, answer the rest of these YouTube questions. If you are not following, make sure you follow. If you are not subscribed to Justin Henry Show on YouTube, I'm going to answer the rest of the questions that come in from there. Make sure y'all follow. I appreciate the love, and I'll see y'all next time. All right, here we go, YouTube. I'm going to finish up here. What's a good trade? Was this a good trade? I traded Mixon, Deontay Johnson, and Zeke for Penny, Henry, and Diggs. I like getting Henry and Diggs in that one. Good trade. Should I start Zay Jones, Sterling Shepard, or Darnell Mooney at the flex? Give me Sterling Shepard or Zay Jones out of those two. It depends on the matchup. If you want safety, go Sterling Shepard. If you want upside, go Zay Jones. I might go Zay Jones on that one and not feel good about it after the week. My friend wants MT for Deebo Samuel. I get Deebo. Do I win that? It's a straight up deal. I value Deebo a little bit higher than MT, but MT's right there in the conversation. So that's just a preference of who you like at that point. Thoughts on Gabe Davis and Keenan Allen moving forward? Good question. I think Gabe Davis is going to have a low floor, very high ceiling week to week. He's a valuable asset, but he's not what he was week 1, and he's not somebody you should give up for the low. So I think he'll fill in somewhere as a back-end wide receiver 2, high-end wide receiver 3, probably more high-end wide receiver 3 on most weeks. Think Mike Williams when he was in earlier in his career for the Chargers. I think that's what you can expect out of Gabe Davis this week. Is Sanders startable every week? As a flex, I don't mind if you start him, but you'll probably find better options with more upside than Miles Sanders every week. Zeke, ETN, AJ Dillon, and Damien Pierce. What should I do with my running back situation? Zeke, ETN, AJ Dillon, Damien Pierce. I have Waddle, Tyreek, and Diggs as my wide receivers. You got that Miami stack. I think you should chill, or maybe pair up Zeke and AJ Dillon and try to go get one of those guys I talked about. Try to go get a Naji Harris. Try to get a Derrick Henry. Try to get a Dalvin Cook. Trading AJ Dillon and Zeke to go do that isn't a bad move because you got ETN and Pierce who are standalone RB2s themselves. So, or if you can get somebody to buy in on Pierce and ETN, go get another running back in that mid-tier range like a CH. But I like your running back setup. I like your squad overall. So I would be trying to pair up to elevate in that situation. Good question. ETN and Singletary for Burrow and Pollard. Lost Trey Lance and have Lawrence as a backup. So you're trying to acquire a quarterback. You're giving up ETN and Singletary. You still get back Pollard and Burrow. I'm not mad at you doing this deal. I get why. Do I trade Cordero Patterson for Dobbins? No. Dobbins is going to take a couple weeks. I think you hold Cordero Patterson. They're trying to get him ramped up right now, but I don't think we see the full J.K. Dobbins for a couple weeks, even after he gets the starting role. They still got Mike Davis, Kenyon Drake. Gus Edwards is on his way back, so this is going to be a full-on committee. Cordero Patterson has a role there for the Falcons. Eckler and Mike Williams for Jonathan Taylor, or should I try for Henry instead? I like trying to go for Jonathan Taylor in that deal. Eckler and Mike Williams is a lot to give up for Taylor, but if you can get him locked in, he's worth it. So I would try not to give up either Eckler or Mike Williams. Like, try to downgrade one of those guys. if you have to, or try to get somebody else back in the deal for Taylor. I feel like you're giving up a little bit too much. Current lineup: Mahomes, Akers, Wilson. You need some running back help. Devontae, Debo, TJ Hawkinson. Hopefully Keenan Allen and Gabe Davis is healthy. Yeah, you just need some help with the running backs. You just need Akers to pan out. So I wouldn't make any panic moves if I were you. Maybe, I wouldn't make any panic moves if I were you, just depending on your record. If you're 2-0 or 1-1, just play that out a little bit longer if you can. Bradley said, thanks for the help. I got you, my dude. If you guys are watching, make sure you guys sub. Appreciate you guys always tuning in and supporting me, man. It means a lot, for real. Etienne and Singletary, I just answered that one. Trade Saquon and Mike Williams for Jamar and A.J. Dillon. No, keep Mike Williams and Saquon. Would you trade Lamar, Connor, and Hawkinson and Godwin? Lamar, Connor, Hawkinson, and Godwin for Henry, Devo, Kittle, and Stafford. I have Cooper Kupp. That's a big-ass deal, bro. Let's see. Henry, Devo, Kittle, Stafford, Lamar, Connor, Hawkinson, Godwin. I would keep the Derrick Henry side. Derrick Henry, Stafford, Devo, Kittle. That's the side I would keep. Even though I don't like giving up Lamar. I would try to take Lamar out of that somehow and work that back in your favor without giving up Lamar. He's going to have a big year. Should I add Logan Thomas and drop Taysom Hill? Absolutely. Logan Thomas has more of a locked-in role than Taysom Hill does. Taysom Hill, if he doesn't get a touchdown or a big play, is going to be useless for your fantasy team, as we saw last Sunday. So I mentioned that last week when a lot of people were in on Taysom Hill. I don't think it's worth it. Thoughts on Hurts, Chubb, and Ertz? You trying to make this a tongue twister for me? Hurts, Chubb, Ertz for Lamar, Eckler, and Pitts. These trades are crazy, man. You guys are giving up a lot in these deals. Hurts and Lamar is pretty similar. Lamar has higher upside. Chubb and Eckler is pretty similar, and then you're getting a lot of value with Pitts. I personally would rather have the Lamar, Eckler, and Pitts side. There's a lot more injury risk on that side, in my opinion, with Eckler and Lamar. But Hurts and Chubb have also been hurt too. So give me Lamar, Eckler, and Pitts. Etienne over Zeke? No, it's Zeke over Etienne. I'll drop Eli Moore for Garrett Wilson. Elijah Moore, yeah, I'm okay with that. Elijah Moore, to me, does not have a solid. I would try to trade Elijah Moore if you could. If you dropped him in a shallow league, I ain't mad at you. Trade Saquon and Goddard for Kelsey and Montgomery. I would, if you want to do that deal, I like Saquon a lot more than most, but I get leveling up getting Kelsey, and then you can worry about running backs later. So getting Kelsey, I'm not mad at that. A couple more questions. How's the team? Full PPR. Joe Burrow, Chase, Waddle, Cooks, Barkley, Patterson, Pitts, J-Rob, Dotson, and Breece Hall. I like this team a lot. I think that running back 2 can be a little bit more shored up. If you trade Patterson and Breece Hall, you might be surprised what you get. Brandon Cooks, your wide receiver 3 is solid, or even like J-Rob and Patterson to somebody who's struggling right now would be a good deal. So try to upgrade your wide receiver 3 or try to upgrade your running back 2. For the rest of your team, I feel pretty good about it. You'll want a little bit more out of Joe Burrow, but he's fine, man. I like that squad. Geno Smith or Tannehill this week. I have to look at the matchups. I have not taken a look at that quite yet. This question's been asked a few times. Do I trade Kelsey and Javonte for Pitts and McCaffrey? I would just keep Javonte and Kelsey right now. Man, I would keep Javonte and Kelsey because you got good enough talent right there. You don't have to make that deal with Kelsey. Best defense to stream this week. I like the Saints this week. There's somebody else I saw. I have to get back to you on that. Ask me that later this week. I'll be live all week. Pollard or Edmonds at the flex. I'm rocking with Tony Pollard right now. I don't know Chase Edmonds' role. I don't think he knows his role right now. So it was not good seeing Raheem Mostert take over all the carries. Do I trade Drew Brees for Phillip Rivers? In 2009, I would have had Drew Brees, and he would have led you pretty far. I think that was the year they went to the Super Bowl. Later on in their career, Phillip Rivers was always mid to me. It's funny because that's kind of what the Chargers did. They had Drew Brees, and then they went to Phillip Rivers. So it's kind of funny you asked that question, my man. Appreciate you throwing me off, asking me some fun stuff, man. Last question before I get off. Would you start at flex Deontay or Curtis Samuel? I'm probably rocking with Curtis Samuel this week. Deontay Johnson got banged up a little bit with an injury, so I want to see how that shakes out. And Curtis Samuel has a legit role. So if you guys are not following, make sure you follow the Justin Henry Show on all platforms. Follow me, Justin Henry, with the 3 instead of an E. You can see it somewhere here. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow, man. Have a good rest of your day. See you then.